Good
Check it, Jill.
afternoon.
Happy Thursday.
Yes, welcome.
Let us know if you can hear us okay.
We have some good stuff to share from a call that we had today.
Great. Thank you, Kathleen.
Awesome. You know what? It was so funny, Rick. You put "you are audible," and I thought I read it quickly as "you are adorable." So, so that's
You're
how I see
adorable.
things. I thought it was "you are adorable." I was going to say, "Well, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that."
That's the difference between Jill and I.
Yeah.
You are adorable, and I thought it said you are
Awful.
This is awful. This whole thing is awful.
That's right. One of you is adorable, one of you is awful.
I guess which one? I resemble that compliment.
Oh, very, very funny. All right, so welcome to our weekly afternoon member and extra call. We have a few people that join in and are totally welcome right now. They're not necessarily in our community, but want to know what we're all about. So happy to share that. So welcome. Please, as always, go ahead and just type your questions into that Q&A box there, and Jack and I will read them out loud and answer them here for you and dream it up.
We have multiple members reporting back that they're trying their hand at purchasing houses just based on the stuff that we're talking about on the podcast with tremendous success. We had one person who sent out 800 measly mailers and bought 4 houses.
Yeah, 800 and he bought. Yeah, it was crazy.
We have a guy, we know we're a little closer to this now because we watch what happens in offers to owners. And we have a person who's not in our group mailing condos in Florida with tremendous success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
early next year, Jill and I will release the whole SFR live education, weekly education series. Mm-hmm. And we'll show you exactly how we do it. In fact, in the class, we'll do it together. We will actually get offers in the mail and buy houses.
I think we should go. Are you going to do this? Go all the way to the back? Because I think because we all know when we do these wholesale house flips that we do have the buyer already lined up. So yeah. I think I'm assuming you're going to do that, Jack.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So that'll be really cool. Jack's going to start with, all right, let's find the buyer. Okay, how do we find that?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we want to do it in our area. Fine. We'll go out and find a handful of flippers, basically, who want these assets.
It'll be a 6-part.
And they'll put in their order.
Like a 6, possibly 8, but I'm going to try to do it in 6 2-hour classes where we literally, all of us together, us included, get offers in the mail and buy a house.
For these guys and sell it to these guys and
buy and sell a house and
mark it up and let them take it, and so you get to see the whole good thing. So awesome. So cool. Hey John, I talked to John yesterday. Nice to see you. All right, should I dive in, Jack?
How do you know it's the right John?
Because of the way the smiley face was. I can tell it was a Canadian smiley face. And
type in Canadian.
So I can actually tell the accent as you type. Just kidding. No.
That's awesome.
I just know that. So see, look, I have the right person.
Yeah.
I can tell. I know this stuff. All right, we're going to dive in. John, glad you are here. Thank you. All right, Jared asks, I know you have answered this before. Does a county with a lot of back taxes and a lot of sales on land watch constitute a good county? Jack?
Yeah. I think the more activity, you can go both ways. We've had, Jill and I have done lots in both situations. So there's no such thing as a bad county, only bad pricing. But yeah, if you're brand new, you can turn higher volume with better sales data, which is really what it translates to. So yes, we talk about that in the program, how to choose a county for rural vacant land anyway. So yes.
Exactly. Okay. Richard Castle asks, well, the new, I don't
know, Jill, that's a good question.
No. It'll be open to everybody because you know what? I fully expect...
There's the answer there.
Richard? Yeah. Should I jump?
I'm glad we had that meeting.
Oh, sorry. Well, okay. So here's the deal. I'm hiring right now. You guys Googled and saw, but I'm hiring. I'm hiring people to fill up these classes and to do some other things as we push this stuff forward. So these classes,
I learn a lot when I show up for these Thursday calls.
We should talk now and then. This is so good. So these classes will be open to the public. I fully expect half of Bigger Pockets to be enrolling in these classes. I mean, that's really the bottom line. So, and it's going to be open to everybody. Will I have special pricing for our members? Absolutely.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's open to everybody, but
yeah,
this is one of the things that I tell people, and the people who are members believe me and they know this to be true, which is I always take care of our people first, period. And thank you. That's just the way we roll. So, yeah, you, Richard, our members will have special pricing, first access, all kinds of other things to get you going first. And you know what? That's a good point. After I'm satisfied, then I will open it up to the general public and that stuff. So, very good question. Let's see. Peter asks, I am tired of getting no access parcels back. So I'm having a VA look for roads on each parcel.
Good.
Overkill?
Overkill.
Possibly, yes. If you're doing it after the fact,
I think it's over.
But not in the beginning. Also, should I option crappy land that I do not feel good buying at the seller's price? Or no need for $10 or another amount on an option agreement? I don't pay anybody for an option, if that's what you're asking.
Jill never pays. I'm doing that.
I'm doing everybody a favor. If it sells, great. I'm doing them a favor, because honestly, I see an option as I'm doing the guy a favor. I'm putting it out there to try to sell it and get the guy some money. It's not enough that I want to buy it, but I'll mark it up a little bit. And then if it sells, great. If it doesn't sell, then that's okay. But I don't give any money or anything like that when I do an option, so, or ask for any money or whatever. And on the looking for the roads, Peter, what other assets? Remember the 4 A's? Man, if you've got,
there's a huge market out there.
Yeah,
for accessless land. Yeah. Just make sure you buy it cheap and make sure you disclose it completely.
Exactly. So I'm not totally against it if you've got the other 3 A's.
Crappy land. There's no such thing as bad land.
True.
It's all about pricing.
It's true.
I just read an article. Somebody sent it to me. I'm not sure who. Get this. Somebody went to a San Francisco auction. This couple went to a San Francisco property auction. Mm-hmm. They bought a street. They bought, the
APN for the street?
The APN for the street.
All right.
And they put a gate at the end of it and charged people to go to their house.
Oh.
And so everybody's suing them and stuff, but all the attorneys are saying, you know what? There's no vehicle reason. There's no reason they can't do this.
It's like
legal reason.
It's like basically this street is now a toll road.
So
if you want to get home, you have to pay the toll.
If I had a nickel for every property that came back, that was like that was just a street or a sliver.
That's
or part
not
of a
nice.
They probably should have never been assigned an APN. So
that's not nice.
I agree, but my point is there's uses for property.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But it's not nice.
Jill and I bought a water tank at an auction one time, like a piece of property that had a water with a well was on it. And then we sold it to the people for a lot, actually. We sold it to the people that were using the well.
Yeah, because didn't it, I remember another one with a well where everybody was required to pitch. Well, you should be required to pitch in to pay for the well if you're using the well. And that's what was going on.
Right.
So
we didn't extort them.
No.
Like these people, but.
Exactly. That's really funny. That's not nice. All right. Peter asks, when offering in high demand areas, how do you deal with a seller's market where sellers hold out for higher prices? Oh, I know what I do.
Go ahead. I bet it's the same answer that I have.
Pass.
Yeah, I just send out more mail.
Mm-hmm. If they're going to try to extort me or, hold out for the higher price and I'm not going to make what I think I want to make on it, then that's fine. I'll walk. I don't mind. I'll go to another area. So, you have anything you want to add?
Somebody asked me in the chat box, Peter asked, to look up this 40-acre property. No access, but what price would work in Mohave County?
Are we looking at it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, I see it.
You can go ahead to the next. I want to tell you what I love about this property. I call it a protective ridge.
Go right now.
I've got to look up. Here. This is cool.
All right. I'm going to answer Shamgod's question while you're looking that up then. Shamgod asks, getting mostly crickets on my listings so far. Have them on Craigslist, Land Watch, Land and Farm and more. Neighbor letters being sent. Anything else I should be doing that I might not be thinking of? Social media. Mm-hmm. Should I be paying for extra advertising? Maybe. Send more neighbor letters.
We're going to bring Luke into the call.
He's not here.
I'm
here.
Oh,
he's here.
Oh,
he's here.
Hi, Luke. Luke's here.
I'm on. You guys,
what do you do with slow sales, Luke?
Slow sales?
Yeah. Do you have slow sales?
I can't keep up.
That's what I thought.
So why is that? Why do you have the Midas touch?
I just price the stuff right. I mean, when I would go on my website and sort by the oldest one on the website, I'm like, why isn't that thing sold? I just put it on sale. I make a YouTube video and say,
make a video.
I was asking whatever, that's obviously not working. Let's try half that price or something lower, right? And the phone lights up and, someone checks out before you know it. You just lower the price. Just price it accordingly.
Yeah.
Perfect. We had a whole discussion about you the other day in our office, Luke, about YouTube. Somebody goes, wait a minute. These guys are in Land Investors talking about selling property on YouTube. She's like, that you can't do that, can you? I'm like, sure you can.
Yeah.
And then of course I said, who is it? She's Luke Smith. Like, of course it is. And I told her, I said, even go look at our YouTube channel. It's been a while since we've posted those videos, but some of our YouTube channels, some of our things with the highest hits were acreage properties that people were looking up and watching the videos. She's like, oh.
Yeah. I think I got to get better about my YouTube titles and like words and stuff in the descriptions so they come up more often. I should study that more, but different people, YouTube keeps scrolling to the next video and the next video. People call me, they're like, I was watching, enter anything here, right? And somehow I got your video. Your video came up as like 5 videos after what I was searching for. And you can buy property for like $500. Are you kidding? Or whatever the price was, $5,000 or, some stupid low price. And they know where that is, or they know the area, or they've heard of something next to it, like Jack's always talking about. Tell them how far it is to Grand Canyon. You know?
That's what I'm doing right here. This is here. Since you brought that up,
so
I love this 40. But go ahead.
Stick something in there that they're gonna, relate to, whether it's water or a tree or a mountain or something that they're gonna relate to, even if it's the other side of the world. And all of a sudden, they feel like that price sounds too good to be true for that much land. And they're researching all the other properties you got, watching other videos and stuff. And then they know my voice, they know who I am and stuff before they call. And they're like, oh my gosh, I got you on the phone. Because I've been watching your videos. Some of them say I watched all your videos. I still don't know how they could do that. That would... That's a lot of videos.
You have your own following.
Yeah. They buy the land, they tell their friends about it, and it's free. I don't have to pay for YouTube advertising.
Yep.
This 40 is 13 miles, 12 miles from, as a crow flies, from the Grand Canyon.
Wow.
So the movie, or the film that I would make is, traveling in, I would do it in YouTube, in Google Earth, and I would fly to the Grand Canyon.
It's 40 acres.
There's some good true tracks along the way, like enduro, dirt biking, super trail or something.
Right.
You talk up.
I know that area. We've driven by there many times, and it's really cool.
Yep.
So Peter's asking, is there a price? Peter, do you want to pop in a number for just us to see, and then we can say yay or nay?
I love these 40s if
it's a good price or not a good price.
And Luke's right. Luke said, split it down to 5. You can just fill out some paperwork. And I haven't done it recently. Have you done it recently, Luke?
Yeah, Mojave's easy. Mojave, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do the paperwork with the county. You fill it out, and they charge you $60 per split, and takes like 2 months or something, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can do it the faster way, which I'd rather do. You can just go, when you sell it, you can mark it whatever you want. You can make up different shapes and stuff, see what sells. But when you sell it, then go write a new legal description for whatever you sold. Just get it recorded. And you just get the new legal description recorded, whether it's a quarter of that thing or half of it or some other draw box or something, whatever you're trying to sell. And when you get it recorded, they charge you $60 per side. So you get more fees in Mohave doing it that way, but you don't have to do it ahead of time. You don't have to wait. They send a $60 bill to the person that you sold it to, and they send a $60 bill to you.
Wow.
So if you go, if you talk to the assessor, I forget her name. It's really nice though. You just tell her, I'm splitting this lot and I'm sending you a $60 check ahead of time. Stick it in your drawer. And you're going to see it coming through from the recorder pretty soon, and pay it. Don't send a bill to the buyer. And she just she'll just draw your check until she sees it come through. Nice. And that's how I do it anyway. I mean, you could send the bill to the buyer if you like, but I just try to do it all for them.
This is all new to me.
This is really good.
That's awesome, Luke.
I didn't know it was that easy now.
You got to check the zoning.
We went through a period in Mohave County where they said, absolutely not. There's no splits. It's over forever. So it sounds like we had a changing of the guard, which is good.
Depends who you talk to over there. They get
true.
We're buying and selling so many houses now that I'm a little out of touch. I'm glad to have you on, Luke. Thank you. Seriously.
It does depend on who you talk to, like no open-toe shoes.
Yeah.
No open-toe shoes, yeah. Depends who we talk to.
Drew and I went to a show in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles.
In
Hollywood last night, and I had
open-toe
sandals on. We were all dressed up, but I was wearing Birkenstocks, and the guy said, "You can't. There's no open-toe shoes," and both of us just started laughing. So every girl in the place had open-toe shoes on.
It was a pre stop on the way to the show.
Age discrimination. They didn't want my old ass in there.
Well, yeah, but then I started talking and I got us in, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Of course. Jill doesn't know the meaning. No,
I don't know. All right, Peter put in a number here for this property. So, panelists. So Luke and Jack, you can.
Would you buy that 40 for $5,000, Luke?
No, I got too many other deals going on. I mean,
I would.
It's for multiple properties, you guys.
$5,000 for the 40,
and a 10 and a 20.
Oh, and
so 70 altogether.
Yeah. Oh, altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yes, I would buy that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's less than $100 an acre, and it's yes. Answer is yes.
Yeah, I was thinking $4,000, not $5,000. But if you got all those other ones with it, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good.
That's
number.
A jog to the bank deal, actually, Peter.
Yeah,
I wouldn't run to the bank, but I would get that done really quickly. Like I would leave this call and I would buy that, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah,
I like that. We're going to have run, jog, brisk walk, and go the other way.
Yeah, you guys are just talking about access too. Like I had a conversation with this guy this morning who's buying some land from me in Arizona, and he's like, I flew my helicopter there yesterday, and it's exactly what I want. And
there you go.
Wow.
Like sweet. He said, can I buy the one next to it too? Because I got fixed wing too, and I want a 5 acre. It's 660 foot, and if I had a little more runway, I could put in a little gravel strip, and I could land my fixed wing there, and then I could bring my supplies in to build, and no one can bother me.
If you've ever seen
Breaking
Bad, you understand the value of no access land.
Exactly. And this guy's got family troubles. The family thinks he's too old to be flying, and he's giving him a middle finger, and he's going for it.
Good for him.
That's
good for him. And so he wants a place where no one can come get him.
Love it.
He's probably got open-toe shoes too.
Probably. No helmet on the motorbikes,
That's right.
Yeah.
Rebel.
Run with the scissors.
Rebel.
Yeah.
Peter asks, what percent of agreements do you get back where you say you can't buy it due to access or some other issue? Do you see people taking offers of 50% or less than the already low offer if there's some issues with the land?
Yeah. So what percent do I get back for land where we review it and we say, yeah, we're just not going to buy it? Probably 1 out of 7 or 8 for us. Luke, what do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not very good at saying no, I'm not going to buy it. I kind of just put it off and I put it off and I put it off until it's like so much time's gone by. I'm embarrassed to go back to them.
I've done that.
It took a while. In fact, we have some like that right now.
And they keep calling. I'm like, shoot, yeah, I gotta call that guy.
Like, oh, that's the guy with 6 people on the deed. I gotta figure that one out. No, this one's easier. It's just one person. Just get the easy ones first, and then if you get to the rest of them, more power to you. You're better off sending more mail and just getting some more easy ones.
Mm-hmm. I'm good at saying too, look, all right, I mean, but there are some I absolutely say no, but if it's a halfway decent good size, I'll say, look, I'll do it for this amount, but that's it, and let it be on them kind of thing.
Yeah. I had one I said no to last week. There was like, I could probably I sold the same property for like $3,000 and there's $3,000 in back taxes plus some HOA fees. I'm like, no, it doesn't make any sense. I could buy one across the street or down the street before I even pay the taxes, let alone the HOA fees. And the guy said, well, I'll just give it to you. And if you give me $100 someday, that's great. If anything ever happens. And yeah, I don't even know if I want to do the paperwork and the signing.
That's where I'm at, Luke. I've done the same thing. I'm like, it's not the time, even if the guy's like, just take it. No, the time that I put in to do that, I could be spending on something else. Thank you. I don't even want to take it.
Yeah. What happens more often than not if you're new is the deal kills itself. So if there's someone's unavailable to sign, or there's some chain of title or cloud in the title issue, that's what kills the deal more often than price or access or attributes.
For me, sometimes the deal gets too small. You quickly get going here, and buying a property for $250 and selling it for $1,000 is not appealing.
Yeah, we have not gotten organized. Jill and I have tons of deals that we pass on that we really should just release to.
That's why I started the whole deal board.
Right.
Well, the deal board was for all those little ones that are not land crowd fund worthy.
Right. And for some people, when they're new and they're practicing,
it's perfect.
Making $500 on a piece of property is a good practice.
It's perfect. Yeah. So I'm going to get, my team is ramping back up to start putting those on, like the deal board for everybody again. I'm
staffing up Escrow Perfect / Title Mind, and we will be within 30 days. We've got software ready, and I just hired a full-time manager who starts in a week, and we will complete your transactions for you. And that's actually how I'm going to release these properties. If you do a deal through us, if we close the deal for you, we'll give you a property, or we'll make another acquisition available to you for the first month.
Cool. Where are you going to get them?
There's a bunch in there.
Okay.
Hundreds of properties in there. It's hilarious.
I'm just teasing. Joking? I'm teasing. All right. Jessica asks, hi, I remember in the education you mentioned offering between 20 to 40% or retail in your mailer. However, recently I've also been hearing from you to offer between 40 and 60%. I'm thinking it depends on the county / market, but I'm wondering if you're seeing that offering 40 to 60% is better overall. Thanks.
It really is county / municipality specific, and property type specific. The more urban in general, the closer to retail you get for pricing. The more rural, the lower the pricing gets. That's how I do it. How do you do it, Luke?
Yeah, I used to just mail the whole state, same offer. But yeah, the more specific you get, you look at what's for sale around the area and get more targeted with your offers.
Do you feel like you scraped the bottom, Luke, or are you a little more strategic about it?
Getting more strategic about it.
Yeah, me too.
It's scraping the bottom. I don't think they turn over as fast. Like, get more strategic about it. You can flip them faster.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been studying that recently, and I think I've been picking up the speed. Like, a lot of them aren't making it on the website anymore. Just because, you put like one property up or something, and then a bunch of people want to buy that one, but it's already sold. And I got other, the same property coming, and I just deal them off to those people that wanted to buy it. And it's easier.
How many chickens do you have now, Luke?
Yeah, they're going nuts for some reason.
I love it. So it makes us all happy hearing that. I think it's just like, it's so cool. So
they're picking all the tomatoes.
Oh.
Richard, I love it. Richard asks, you've mentioned previously how much you like Facebook groups for selling land. Do you also post ads on Facebook? I'm currently targeting certain demographics, hunters, hikers, etc. for ads. Brilliant.
Here's what I do with tremendous success. We do post it once in a while in Facebook groups, and we have talked about that. But what works better? Facebook is set up for geographic specific businesses like a barbershop or a hair salon or a nail salon. So if you look at your piece of property like that, it's in a zip code. You can target that zip code and the surrounding zip codes and not make it like interest or demographic specific. It's just that's where the URL is. That you hit everybody, and that is a fantastic way. If you're forced to sell houses, a fantastic way to sell a house, especially if it's priced right.
Mm-hmm.
We wholesale them to flip to renovators, but I ran a test a couple months ago on a property like that, and the response we got was staggering in a positive way.
I've been testing the same thing on YouTube, and you can target the area, you can target the demographic, you can target males if you want just males or females or whatever. You can target the household income of the person. Like, Google does algorithms to try to figure out like what kind of finance that person has based on what they're viewing, searching, and everything kind of data is. And you can target the lower 50% of the income households for desert, middle of nowhere property if you wanted, or you got a fancy one, you could target the top 10% kind of households in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get very specific with it in YouTube advertising. So I've been playing with that a little bit.
That's cool.
There's a lot more there to go, but it's a lot of fun. It doesn't cost much of any money. There doesn't seem to be much of any competition.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like 1/2 of 1 cent per view or per click. It's staggeringly cheap.
If I compare that to LandWatch or Lands of America land and farm bills that I get, I mean, I don't know why I still use them.
Yeah.
Like, I should direct that money into YouTube advertising. It'd take me a little bit more time to put that much money to work over there, and customizing the ads. But I think it'd totally blow them out of the water with results for the same amount of dollars spent. I don't know if I'd be able to keep up with the calls and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Right. Love it. Farron asks, completing our first option deal, and the bank got involved on the lender's end. Yikes. They're a teeny bit concerned, and they're making a check out to a company that does not technically own the land. Any advice to settle their nerves in the small town bank?
I don't know why there's a bank involved.
Option deal. Yeah, and the bank on the lenders. And
I guess we need more information.
yeah, I'm not sure who's, if
we've made a career out of sticking our middle finger up, as Luke would say, to all lenders and banks, unless they're like private people.
Unless Farron's borrowing the money to buy it and then to sell it on terms.
That's a real bad idea.
Right, which I would not.
Opinion.
So
the borrower's borrowing money.
The buyer is borrowing money. The buyer is borrowing money, and they can't even. And it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. So it's not terms. It's option. Okay. So
Yeah, I mean, lenders generally don't lend money on unimproved property, which is what we all specialize in here. Unless it's
it's got a house on it or something on it.
Unless it's a home equity loan. Where you just borrow money against your house to
do whatever you want.
To buy real estate land. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Oh, it's vacant. Okay, got it. All right. So You know what?
I have never, in all the years I've been doing this, seen a bank lend against unimproved property entirely.
Right. It's usually they're just adamant about it, and then they don't move. I wonder if you should hang out for a different buyer if it's going to be this much small town bank relationship.
I had a deal this morning with a bank on it. USAA had loaned money on one of the properties I was trying to buy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. And did it all go through? Did you complete the transaction and everything?
Well, I was doing the paperwork. The girls in the Philippines are drawing it up for me right now. Should be ready by the time I get off this call. There was a release of mortgage. The guy paid it off. Cool. And just like a month or two ago, but it was just the property. Like the mortgage is only on this property.
Wow.
Yeah. USAA. So,
maybe because it's U.S. It's military, right? Maybe they have special things that they let military people do.
Is that military, Joe?
USAA is military.
Private, but they target military. It's a credit union. They target military people.
Got it.
No, you can wiggle your way in.
Oh.
Usually you donate to one of their organizations or something. I've done that to use some of the different credit unions, like Pentagon Federal Credit Union. I like that one.
Brilliant. Yeah. I thought that we couldn't. This is good. This is more good information from Luke. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can get my way into USAA if I ever needed it. But I've thought about that because I used to. They have good rates on different things and stuff.
You donate $5, $10. It's not so much about the amount of money, but who you're donating to, like one of their organizations.
Awesome. And then you're in the club.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Matt asks, 1,560 offers just sent out Tuesday for my first mailer. I'm sure Jen can confirm that. What additional research should I be doing in the meantime while waiting for the first wave of calls?
Plan for your second mailer and make sure that you answer the phone and you got all your ducks in a row about when the inbound contact comes. Make sure you answer the phone. Make sure your website's looking good so they can look you up when they get it in the mail. And then hold on to your hat.
Yeah, and have your money ready to go. You could even do if you hit one county too, Matt. Make your little checklist so you know ahead of time how much the recording fees are. Is there anything other paperwork that I need? So when you start closing the deals, you're ready to close them. Where to mail the stuff to and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So good job.
Let us know what happens.
Yeah.
You also want to get your supplies ready. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like those USPS envelopes, like how many does the post office have? They keep running out.
I always just go in there and clean it out.
Yeah.
Take every single envelope they have.
Yep.
I've been buying their stamps, like the 665 whatever stamps, the priority ones. They're all sold out. Like all the post offices around here sold out, and they don't stock them fast enough. So I just signed up to stamps.com, and you can print them off.
Yeah, like it's $25 a month.
So I just do the USPS one.
Do you go on their website and do it?
I do USPS. I just have the credit card all filled in. What we do is every time someone's in the post office, they just grab a handful of what's there. It's usually the overnight envelopes, not the red ones, like the blue, the standard overnight for like $6.95 or whatever.
If you call UPS and you download their software, they'll give you a discount too.
Yeah, it's cheaper. Yeah, because I do get a discount doing it on their website.
Right.
So that's what I do. I print out my label, and there you go. So you're right. We've had trouble. Like I've tried to order them from the US, like, okay, they're out. So I go online to order like 100 of them, and they're like, and it takes a month to arrive. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy them on eBay too. You can buy them if you wanted like a stamp, which we don't do, but
Aaron and I, that was our thing, driving around looking for those stupid things. We've done that. So that's a good thing. Shamgod asks, what's the most efficient way to make sure the legal description is good on deeds? I have some VAs working up deeds saying some counties don't give them. They always have for me, or the deed, good enough to just have them put the legal description according to Title Pro. So my first thing I would do, Shamgod, is I would go into RealQuest Pro or first I would go Title Pro. And then if I couldn't find it, I would go to RealQuest Pro, but I would just download the vesting deed and copy that. And that's all you really need. The most recent recorded deed is the vesting deed. And then on the off chance I don't have, that's weird reason that they don't have it for, both of them don't, I would ask the seller, because usually they have it in a file, the deed, and they could just take a picture of it for me. I don't need to have it. They don't have to mail it to me. Just take a picture on their phone and send me it, and I can read it and copy the legal description from that.
Exactly.
That's my number one thing, because what's really on the deed and what got recorded is what you want to copy. Because sometimes I've seen where they take a few words out, they shrink them a little bit to fit in the legal description online, and I want the real deal.
The legal description is legal if it's mappable.
There you go.
If you can read through it and map that piece of property out, whether it's public land survey or meets and bounds, whatever. I mean, it can have pages and pages of retarded directions, and as long as it's mappable from all the way around the property, that's it. That's all it takes. Good. That's like the lawyer response.
I love it. That's so good.
You can't say retarded. Luke, you
can't say special needs. Special needs directions. Just kidding.
You can't say secretary. You can't say gay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you can't
politically correct.
I don't even know what to call myself half the time. What's correct? You know what I mean?
I'll come up with the name.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I had a conversation with a girl from one of the counties who works she does the maps. She goes into this county one day every other week, and she updates the maps, and that's all she does. And she gave me a call. We went back and forth because it was really hard to get a hold of her, but she said, this legal description you have on this property, it's 2 pages long and it only needs to be 2 lines, and here's how you do it. And she walked me through it, and it's just reference this map, just reference this page, this book, and this page, and the piece of the lot that you're trying to sell. And it's because I was doing splits, right? And so I've been keeping her really busy on splits. And she's saying, "You give me a break here, buddy. do it this way, and I don't have to retype your 2-page legal description. It can boil it down into 2 lines." And it was really a really good conversation. She had some good stuff to say. And
cake.
Exactly. Something. Right. But they'll help you too. I mean, the counties makes life easier for her going forward.
Right.
Curious got her hand up. You see it there?
I do. I think that's just Curia does that sometimes. I'm just kidding.
Jill's out giddy today.
I'm just kidding.
We were out till 3:00 in the morning last night.
It was really fun. Okay. Richard Castle asks, after your purchase agreements have expired, do you try to negotiate with interested sellers for a lower purchase price? How much do you offer?
It depends. So a lot of people call back. Again, we're pretty vocal about it. Since the early 2000s, we were sending offers out. So, and they all come back. They all call back and say the first thing, are you guys still in business? And does this price still work for you? And it depends on who's on the other end of the line, whether it's Jill or one of her staff. But 9 times out of 10, I'll say yeah. If I'm involved, I'll say yes. Jill tries to get it for cheaper.
And I walk.
Yeah.
I did that with Yanni the other day. I said, I love it for $500, but that's it. And then I don't know if he hasn't called back yet. I'm waiting for Yanni. She'll tell me. But yeah.
Perfect access property. What was it? 10 acres, Jill? In Elko County, Nevada, from a mailer from 2000. If anybody's wondering if this is saturated, someone called. How many people do you think have sent letters to Elko County, Nevada?
Right, and this is a 2007 letter.
Was it 07?
Mm-hmm, it was.
And so they wanted to sell property, 10 acres for $1,000.
Yeah. Well, because here's what happened. No. Well, it was right. It was either last week or the week before.
$500.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, Luke, when we were talking to you about that. And it was so funny because we're talking about Elko County. And then
full-blown county road access.
Yanni's like, I just got a call from a guy in Elko. It was the funniest thing. And she's like, from 2007. I'm like, see? It was awesome.
Yeah. It's all a gamble district. They cut up a huge ranch, one of the country's largest ranches, to a whole ton of 10-acre properties. Just covers half the county, basically. There's a sea of them out there.
Cool. All right. Shamgod asks, how much research are you doing for sellers when they call or email? Are you sending... I have a lot to say about this one. Some are sending 5 to 10 questions that I don't know the answers to. Should I be calling the county and finding all of them out every time? How much work should you do versus having them do some of it?
You go on LandPin, and that template on LandPin didn't happen by accident. That's the result of, tens of thousands of sales, and people asking questions. So if they have more questions than what's in the template in LandPin for a given piece of rural property, there's a problem. And I'm sure that's what you're going to say, right, Joe?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's good questions and there are stupid questions, and yes, there are stupid questions. Just kidding. But sometimes it's an indication that let me back up. Jack's right. I mean, that's why we have all those things on there, and you can add more information. Like if, for example, something that's good to have on your posting is if it has $47 in back taxes or something like that, or $147. It's a good idea to put it on there. Then no one will ask you, and they all know. And that's unique to that property. I've tried to put as much as I can so they don't have anything left to ask me. That's really it. And if they're sending me that many questions, there's two things. Number one, they're not reading it, and I'm not thrilled about that. I'm not sure they're a good buyer then. They're not even reading the posting. And number two, I'm not... What's so funny?
You.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Okay, and then number two...
You're not thrilled about it.
Right. I just don't think...
I'm not thrilled about this, Jack.
I really don't think that they're a serious buyer because they should have answered all these questions before they got to me. For example, if I am really seriously researching buying a, whatever car it is, a McLaren, if you will.
McLaren?
I don't know. Just threw that out there. That's on my like.
You're the girl for me.
Those are my cool. I just like those
you
cars.
Should buy a McLaren.
We just saw some the other day, and I'm like, that's a cool car. Let's just say I'm thinking about buying a McLaren. I'm not going to walk into the dealership knowing nothing about them. If I'm really serious about pulling the trigger, you better believe by the time I get to that dealer, I have done all my homework. I know this, and this, and I'm there for the last piece, which is let's talk money.
Price, yeah.
Because I am serious. So that's what I feel about this too. If they're coming to me with that many stuff, they're still trying to figure out if this works for them. Can I really live on a property out there that far by myself? Do people deliver? Can I get mail? I mean, if they're asking even things like that, they haven't thought this through. Yeah. And I don't think they're serious. So I think there's a nice way, Shamgod, that I wouldn't spend that much time on them. I would refer them back to your posting. I would maybe have a canned reply that you even send like, gosh, thank you. I really appreciate your interest in our property. Please read all of the information. Any questions you have, feel free to contact the county. If you still have something, whatever you want to, or even do this, contact the county. And when you're ready to pull the trigger, let me know. And I have absolutely done that thing. So there you go. And thank you, Kathleen.
Peter, this property that I have on the screen while Jill was ranting concerns me a lot.
Me ranting?
From an access standpoint. So It's 160 acres and for $15,000, which is a pretty good price. But I think Lucas to this day stuck with some property like this kind of access scenario. You can get there through the wash, but
I got one in under title, like that 160 acres I bought for $20,000. Got this lady paying $28,000 through title close, so it's still hung up in title. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Would you buy this for 17? It's 160 acres in the wash.
I don't know what county we're in. I'm lost.
Mohave.
Yeah, you can split them again. I mean, you can go trade that amongst the other land crew people, split it
look how close
again and again and again and again.
Where's the freeway? I'm trying to see over here. Oh.
That's that highway between Phoenix and Las Vegas.
Okay.
I think that
93.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Wait. Hold on a moment. Some of these too, like Peter, is this Peter, right? Yeah.
It's not a bad, I don't know. I'm on the fence. Go ahead.
Peter, what if you put some feelers out there, like, I don't know, kind of ran some ads just to see what kind of response you get without giving all the details to test the water? That's not crazy. Or an option. If you're not so sure anybody's really going to be interested in it, if you option it, then you're safe no matter what.
6 miles from the freeway, Grand Canyon. It's looking better and better. I would go back. I would make a little video, less than 30 seconds, and email it to the seller and say, are you aware that there is just literally no physical or legal access? And if you don't sell it to me for $5,000, you're probably never going to sell it, or something like that. I would pull a gel.
But I mean, if you sold half of it, 80 acres, with the sales pitch of I'll teach you how to split it up again, not actually splitting it because of the state laws, and then the other half split it 4 ways, sell 4 20-acre properties.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you sell 4 20s and an 80 for? It's going to be a lot easier to move 4 20s and an 80 than 160 acres. It's a lot more credit card checkout kind of stuff.
Well said.
And you can do each one of those 20s. I mean, I don't know the zoning on it, but you could, whoever buys those 20s, they could sell a 10 and 4 2.5s or whatever. I can't do my math. How do you split a 10 4 ways? Yeah, 2.5, 4 2.5s, and tell them the economics on selling all those bits and pieces versus what you're selling it to them for. I mean, it probably stays in the Land Academy crowd for 2 or 3 steps till there's a whole bunch of smaller properties in there, and comes out a lot higher dollar per acreage at the end. Everybody gets to mark it up a little bit, and there you go. It's a different sales pitch than trying to sell 160 acres. If you're looking at trying to sell 160 acres, it's a lot more work. It's probably title. It's probably shopping around for somebody who's going to have a lot of questions. But if you sell it as bits and pieces, it'll go away more profitably.
I want everyone to see how much money you can make on one deal. Jill, continue, please.
Okay. Well, I was gonna add too that you're right. Even the right person, 160 acres is a lot. 40 acres is pretty darn big when you're standing on it. So 160 acres is really big when you're out there. And some people are afraid of that, number one. And number two, I've had people where I've had big properties priced really, really low. And it's just because I did it right, and it's almost too low that they don't even believe me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have it so low they're like, this can't be right. And I'm like, shucks, I need to apparently price it higher because no one believes that it's that good of a deal. You know what I mean? So it's weird. Richard asked about Luke mentioning going for the easy deals. Is there a way to remove properties in a trust or with multiple owners in RealQuest?
Not in RealQuest.
Well, you click on them before you download. If you want to go page by page by page, you can. Unclick them before you push the button.
The answer is that's correct. There's an automated process for this in DataTree, which we are all going to be exposed to here very, very soon. We're adding DataTree to our collection of licensed. We are a licensed provider of DataTree, and we'll get people within the next 30 days. Everyone will get a username.
I don't know what level it's going to be.
Yeah.
Is it going to be gold?
Silver, gold. We don't know.
But the base of the question, I mean, I'm not scared of properties that are in a trust. I mean, that's fine.
Not at all. Yeah, forget about the trust. Exactly.
I wouldn't scrape that out for anything. And then multiple owners. I mean, most of the time it's husband and wife or kid and mom or something. It's not usually that big of a deal. It's just when it's a half dozen strange family members. I mean, you can't tell that in the database until you go pull up the deed and start reading it.
Right.
To go piece them all together. And even then you call them and ask, hey, could you collect all the signatures for me and then I'll pay you? I mean, it's not that big a deal if you just put it on their lap to go collect all the notary signatures.
That's a great idea.
It's for small dollar property, you know. Maybe they're comfortable doing that, maybe not. If not, you got to send notaries out to half dozen people. I mean, it gets kind of ridiculous. Then I'd probably pass, but I wouldn't try to scrape that stuff out of the database. I mean, you don't know you're going to get there until you go pull the deeds and really get into it.
The amount of money that it costs for data and the amount of money for mail is ridiculously insignificant to how much money you make just on one property, you know, so you don't want to scrub too hard.
I mean, you're spending at the most 63 cents.
Right. Roughly.
I mean, so with whatever, you know, to pull the data and get it in the mail.
Right.
So that's not good. Man, what people spend is just
especially when you start
silly.
Making, you know, in California, we make whatever, $20,000 to $80,000, sometimes $100,000 on a house.
Yeah.
We actually send less mail out for houses than we do land.
Right. Nick is asking you, Jack, if you have any updates on Jill Pay because Stripe is kicking them out.
Yeah. Jill Pay. Here's the latest. Jill Pay will probably. It's not. We will not. We call it Jill Pay now, but in the end, what it's going to be is, here's the name and the number of a guy who can hook you up with XYZ credit card company. So we're not. It's not going to be anything that we're going to control. It's just too complicated. Yeah.
Yeah. When we got into it, they had a problem. They had the problem with the Jill Pay part because they just didn't understand it. They think, well, then you own the property. I'm like, no, I don't own the property. I'm facilitating this, and they didn't understand. They didn't like that, which is cool. We don't care because the bottom line is Jack and I are just trying to solve this issue. Nick, you are not alone with being able to take payments for our property type.
Yeah.
Period. So you think it'll be, everybody will have their own direct account with this provider who is saying that they will handle our product type.
They're saying that. I can't get it in writing.
Can't get it right. Okay, but that's the goal.
And that's what's going to happen. And we can't be personally responsible if they cut us off and then we have to cut you all off. That's what's holding this up.
Right.
You should pretty easily be able to make, Peter, $30,000 on this transaction.
We go through the numbers. Did we say them?
Yeah. So there's an 80. Let me make this bigger.
Thank you.
It's 160 acres. Luke says split one up into in 180 and then 4 20s.
Because the state laws only allow you to go 5 ways.
5 properties without doing a public report.
Yeah, without doing more BS.
Exactly.
Or I don't know how deep I should get into this. Let's the proper way is 5 ways in Arizona.
The legal proper way.
Right.
You make
you do choices. What you think.
Well, if you look up the consequences of going over 5 and deduce your own decisions from there, I mean, the consequences are limited to what you sold the property for and legal fees above and beyond that. So basically, you're underwriting those properties saying, I'll buy them back for a certain amount of time. And it's not that long. It's like 3 years or something.
Right.
So in Arizona, we have Supreme Court case law, not federal court, but the state Supreme Court has several cases where the person, the perpetrator won. It would be Luke, and the case was decided in his favor. So the chances of getting in trouble, I'll just put it this way, are really, really slim.
And they're all complaint driven.
That's
and
right.
It's basically it's the whole reason for the law is they want to make sure the person knows what they're buying. They want to make sure they know that there is no fire department and know this, and there's no public this, there's no trash pickup, all these things. You're really buying something out there because those are all the things that go into the public report.
Anyway, here's 160 acres split 5 ways. According to how Luke would do it, I probably would do it a little bit differently. I wouldn't have one big chunk. And these are, I think, rational sales prices. And here's the acquisition price, $17,000. Watch what happens when you go back and tell them you only want to buy it for 10. Much better. You can make $40,000 on this deal, probably pretty quickly. That's nothing to shake a stick at.
This is true.
That's approaching the kind of deals we do, Jill.
Yep.
I say sell half and then split the other side 4 ways because it's easier to draw up that kind of legal description than splitting the whole thing 5 ways and having like 32 acre properties. Like it's a different art to draw that legal description.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you say that is a Nick question to Luke? You have a contact at moonclerk.com, DODD?
This is to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the main guy there at Moon Clerk, is it Dodd? I forget. Yeah, I mean, I've got his phone number and stuff.
Cool. And he wants to know if it's okay if he name drops you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Luke. Awesome.
They're really nice guys over there. It's only like 3 guys that run the company, that do everything, all the code. It's a small company, right? But
that's good.
I don't even think they do it full time. It's like it's a business for them, right? Side gig.
Mm-hmm. Richard asked, Jack, on last week's call, you mentioned a member who had who has created really outstanding marketing videos. Is it possible to see an example?
I will ask him. I'll send him an email. Let me see if he's on this call. And if that's the case, we will do it next weekend. Next week, Thursday. He's not on the call, so I'll find out.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Christian asks,
that's a great question.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Would be perfect for all of us. Thank you. Because there's lots of you can do virtual flyovers with Google Earth Pro and you don't actually have to pay for a drone. Depending on the cost of the property, you may or may not want to invest in that much work, but you can kind of sit at your own desk and kind of do your own for a $5,000 property. I don't think that's crazy at all.
Same guy that I'm referring to hired a drone company to do a property in California that was right on the river. And the drone guy caught a bear, like a mother bear. Did I show this?
You did tell me. I think you said this.
With these cubs, with the bear cubs, and that sold the property immediately.
Yeah. It's so darn cool. All right.
Now we're making $50,000 on this deal. So
I love it.
It's you're in a driver's seat with a large acreage property in Mohave County is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Christian asks, following up with our conversation from last week, I've been researching different lake communities and vacation lots to make offers on. One thing I'm trying to figure out, though, is this. Some vacation lots that aren't right on the lake go for $4,500 retail. So I'm thinking about offering $1,000 to $1,500 and selling for $3,000 on these, like it. But then there are lakefront properties that sell anywhere from $15,000 to $100,000 retail, but don't have an APN scheme appraised or assessed value. So I can't really filter these in RealQuest. You mentioned offering on all lots in these communities, but I don't want to be spinning my wheels offering super, super under retail value. Thoughts?
I respectfully think you're overthinking this, and I would send out offers to those communities we iced out with the dollar amounts that we discussed, regardless of water frontage or not. And the more you send out, the more of a chance there is that somebody with a waterfront property or a collection of properties, you're going to get a smoking deal. All they can do is say, hey, this happens to me all the time. We own 10 properties. These properties, your price is fine, but these 2 properties, I need more. When you average it all out, that's the beauty of doing a bunch of deals, a multi-unit deal. When you average them all out, you're in that's the number you're looking at. So that's a roundabout way of saying just get it in the mail and let it rip.
Mm-hmm. And I've done that. Just the fact that they call you back, they're like, you're way off. I'm like, all right, well, what is it?
Yeah,
what
exactly.
is a good? I'm like, I'm okay with that.
You're free to make it, counter offer.
I might be way off.
Let's look at the property together. Maybe you're right.
Exactly.
Maybe it is worth what you say.
And I'm cool with that. Totally.
The mail starts the conversation. It's not the end document.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Chuck asks, are there any community states that you know that require deeds to say John Doe, a married man, or Jane Smith, single, etc.? Is that type of deed verbiage necessary for married or not? We do joint. Here's my thing, Chuck. I try to help I'm assuming that because we're making deeds here usually. I'm not undoing a deed. I'm making a deed for somebody. And what I always do is joint tenants, because that covers it all and it saves everybody, whether they're married or not. If I know there's 2 of them, that's what I try to do. So I hope that answers the question.
I think it makes it easier when you have that verbiage after their name to run it through title or read deeds in the future when they're selling it someday. Say it's a married man. Okay, so it's a community property state. We should go collect the spouse's signature. Or unmarried or sole and separate property or unmarried sole and separate property or something like that. It's like, we don't have to look for a spouse's signature. We don't even have to ask. It says right there in the deed they're not married, and just move on. So I think it helps future transactions a little bit, but I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. I kind of, what I try to do, I think of down the road and help the person out. Because I like, what if they're married now and they're not married when they sell it 10 years from now or something? I don't know. Then there's nothing on there one way or the other. So then they can, do what they want.
So female of you. Every acquisitions person who's a female that's ever worked with us has that attitude. I've heard him say it on the phone a million times.
Really?
I'm really just trying to help you. Really, please, let's just do it my way. I'm trying to help you for the future of the owners of this property. I'm like, it's funny because that's never crossed my mind.
Oh, you silly. All right.
Now we make $60,000 on the same Peter deal.
Oh, gosh. You were not letting that go.
By negotiating a price.
Try 5-acre properties. See what you can sell those for.
All right, this is fun.
You have to make a lot longer spreadsheet.
You do.
Not going to fit on the screen.
Jason asks, I'm working a county that has certain zoning that has a minimum parcel size to build, 40 acres. Yet there are a lot of 40s that have been split into 410s, rendering hundreds of acres effectively unbuildable. I'm contemplating a model where I bid super low due to the seller being unable to build until I acquire 4 contiguous 10s and then do a parcel merge and market as being able to build. Is this something people have done? I'm looking to you and to Luke.
I know.
It's where, like, who says that minimum? I mean, is it some realtor that has no real basis because they got screwed on some deal sometime or they heard it from somebody or whatever?
Don't take no for an answer.
Yeah. Are you actually talking to a building zoning, permitting people of some kind that gives you a real solid reason of why? Or are they taking like the classic old school septic system that needs a whole bunch of room and leach fields and you can't build on it and you can't drive on it and you need all this extra room that the ground can soak the stuff up in, and they just rule of thumb you need some big property for that kind of leach field because you pay more money, you can get a better leach field that doesn't need that much room and have all those constraints. That might affect the price you sell the property for, but you can still go build on it. The universal building code kinds of standards that most of these counties go off of have requirements of what you need in there. And if you go out and you get the septic system of modernness from somebody who's a little more progressive thinking and stick that in there with the building codes, meet the building codes, and all of a sudden you're building on a quarter of the property they ever thought you could build on. It's about getting past all those check boxes. It's not, is it buildable? Mm-hmm. It's getting past all those stipulations and how do you get past them and what does it cost? It might not be super cheap like whoever's saying no, you can't build it did on their property. It might cost more. It might take more work. It might take an extra step or two or something, but you could probably still do it.
Jason added that it's they say county zoning code, it's a special zone for natural resource conservation or something like that.
That sounds like San Bernardino County. They've got the resource conservation zoning, RC zoning. I think it sounds like he's talking about the RC zoning. Mm-hmm. And I've run into that too, but it's it's the same answer I just gave.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now we're making $250,000 on this property.
Good, because it's really funny because Peter just said, hey, who wants in on this deal that Jack's splitting up right here?
There you go.
He wants to be in with me on this 160-acre deal we're discussing. Okay, going once?
Yeah.
Going twice?
I have to disclaim that.
Uh-huh.
This is illegal.
The felony way. Felony way of subdividing property. But you could get a public report on this, Luke. It's probably worth it.
By the way, I'll spend $5,000 on a public report if I'm going to make $250.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. You could do that. The other way is, you're basically bankrolling it. So you're promising these people you're going to buy it back. And if they ever have any problems, they come back to you and say, give me my money back. You just got to be Johnny on the spot to give them their money back. And you can sell it to somebody else. Like if you have that kind of attitude, it's probably not a big deal and you can run with it. It's not like you're selling these things for ridiculous prices compared to the marketplace. If you go try to sell them for $30,000 in a $1,000 market and someone gets pissed and screwed, yeah, you're going to not want to buy that back either.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're selling them at half the market prices, like are preached in this program, you'll be happy to buy them back because you can just go sell them for the same thing or more on the market later on. And you're going to want to check zoning too, because zoning, they might say it's 40 acre minimum or something like that. Some other
for
minimum.
$250,000, it's worth looking into all this stuff. And then now once you do it one time in a county and you got everybody's name in your Rolodex.
You're hilarious. Buy it for $7,000 and you make $313,000.
Hey,
by the way, what's I know, but what's the ROI on that? What's the percentage, I should say? That is, I'm super curious.
You're gonna spend more on credit card fees than you paid for the property to sell them all.
This is true.
It's good.
4,000%.
4,000%. There we go. How many neighbors, Shem got asked, how many neighbors are you mailing for each property? 10, 25, 50?
For how many
He's hitting up neighbors to buy the property?
You mean surrounding neighbors for land?
Do you know what I would do, Shamgod? I wouldn't. Yeah,
it's a radius.
I would not worry about sending out too many at 53 cents a pop. I'd send out 50 and then let's let it go.
I would run the radius in RealQuest, the radius scenario, and then I would just send them all. Mm-hmm. And I think I might even. I'm not sure I would send. We can't take postcards yet. We're working on that in 020.
No, and I'm working on some other things too, some other product types too.
So yeah, I would send them, however many people are in a 1 to 5 mile radius, depending on how rural the property is.
I think it depends on the property. If you're selling one of these 5 acres in Mohave, I wouldn't even bother.
I wouldn't either.
But if you're selling, some fancy property on a river with bears and stuff, you might want to send the whole county. So you mark that thing up a bunch and price it in a couple $1,000. Go tell everyone in the area, go watch my video. This thing's awesome. You're gonna get.
Make sure if that's the case, looks 100% right, by the way. But make sure you have a fantastic presentation where you're driving them back to your website with a beautiful presentation of the property. You don't want to just say, "Hey, here's the APN. Go do all the work yourself." You don't want to do that.
Right. Cool. Jessica asked, start to create my A-list by grabbing a few names and numbers from LandWatch. I emailed them and have received only one response from a realtor who was a bit crabby about it. Should I stay away from realtors when creating this list? What are other ways to add names to the list? Thank you.
So to answer your question about realtors, I try to stay away from realtors always about everything, including socially.
I just took boat brokers out of my list of friends.
I walked into
today.
Jill's office today.
Oh, yeah.
And I have never heard the F word like I heard today. I can count on both hands the times I've heard you swear since I've known you.
These losers. Yeah. Holding my money.
Anyway.
Ridiculous. Okay, go ahead.
We should have a wire transfer coming back in after that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the people who are going to buy real estate from you, there's a better than a 60% chance they already own real estate in that area. So what Sham got asked is that's a great way to start. Mm-hmm. Find some way to contact. Wouldn't it be great?
List,
Wouldn't it be great? I had a meeting with RealQuest over this topic. If we could get if we could associate an email address with a piece of real estate, how cool would that be? We have their mailing address.
So it's coming, isn't it? Because some counties have it, obviously. I think this, I have to dig in data.
So it turns out that email addresses go bad. Like you just change, you might have an email address from when you worked at American Airlines.
Wait a minute. Isn't this in Title Pro 24/7, everyone? I want to say, because I remember them showing us this a year ago, whenever it was, that we were looking at Title Pro.
It depends on the
county. If they have a phone number associated with the property or any information like that, it will show up in the report.
That's right. So it depends on the assessor. Like the more urban counties that you get, that's just what
some of them we have.
Roads lead back to buying houses. Land is a good practice for house flipping.
And the whole thing is you just have to be very, very careful because there are laws against emailing and calling, not like direct mail.
Yeah.
So that's just but there's stuff in there. That's good.
So Jessica, to answer your question about that, if you don't want to get all intense about it, you can go contact, if you have a property in Mohave County, contact all the people that have properties for sale there. Start by that.
Mm-hmm.
There's thousands and thousands of properties for sale in Mohave County on Land Watch and Land and Farm.
Yep.
There's nothing stopping you from hiring somebody in the Philippines to send a note to every single person.
Yeah. Hey, Peter, don't forget to put this, if you want to, put this on the deal board. I see a lot of communication on this stuff.
Oh.
You'll find somebody really fast. I can think of somebody today right now who's in our group that's good.
Okay, so let me finish this thought.
Got too much money.
This is. Let me finish the thought. You're not going to run out and make $500,000 on this deal. All right, I just did it to make a point. But if you are going to split property and go through all this stuff, make sure that it has county road access. Trust me. The county's going to look at it much differently if you're changing zoning and you're and changing uses and all of that. And subdividing, if it's got like dual side county road access. Plus, if you are going to do this, you can spend a lot more than $7,000.
Sure. And make it good.
I would not, full disclosure, I would not do what we just did in Excel with that piece of property. It's right in the middle of the wash and all kinds of stuff. But I would do it with county road access property.
The concept's the same.
Exactly, Joe.
Thank you very much. Alan asks, I'm working in a county in Utah that has several of these 160-acre divided into 5s and 10s with no access. Okay. When I look up the deeds on the county website, each property has a notice of non-compliance recorded against them. I've been passing on these. Should I rethink that strategy?
Look, what would you do?
I think I know what properties he's talking about.
I do too. I don't know which county it is too.
Yeah, I steered clear of them.
I would too.
Too much work.
Mm-hmm.
Too much. You don't need to do all that stuff. I mean, like trying to explain that to people and everything. I mean, yeah, trying to group them together is a lot of work too. Like, what are you going to buy a patchwork of them across the countryside and hope some of them are next to each other, or try to collect sellers that are willing to before you actually buy them when you can put them together? And yeah, it's someone else's mess. There's better stuff to do out there.
Right.
Here's a short list of counties where I have experienced over the years difficulty in selling property. Northwestern Utah, which is where this is. Imperial County, California.
Oh God, yeah.
Some of the northern counties in Nevada. And that's about it. Everywhere else. And here's why. And they all have one thing in common. They're ass ugly. It looks like Hollywood goes there to. If you've ever seen
Mars,
have you ever seen a Mars movie?
That's it.
That's where they.
That's where they filmed.
Looks like Mars out there. So just steer clear of that. The more trees, the better.
Imperial County stinks too. I mean,
Imperial County was a bombing range during World War II to test bombs and stuff. So I've passed on property for like $2 an acre, literally, in Imperial County.
You can't use that as an attribute? Is that what you're saying, Jack?
I don't know.
Former bombing range. It's all cleared off. And it's actually below sea level.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
The neighbors shoot missiles. You can shoot whatever you want here.
Yeah, no one's going to care. You can scream, no one will hear you.
Maybe that's the title. Bring your .50 caliber.
Alan said they are ass ugly, but the legal ones I bought and sold, LOL, they're so funny. They are as ugly. Oh, I don't know if it's as ugly or ass ugly. I'm not sure.
Can't say it on a podcast, but we can say it on the show.
Oh, good. Okay. Sorry. Okay. That's so funny. All right. Awesome. I think that's
Most asses aren't ugly. Where did that happen? Where did that come from?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's really funny. All right. I think we've answered everything. Do you have anything else you want to add, Jack?
No, I don't. Luke, do you?
Jack, we never discussed our topic for today.
Oh, partnershipping deals. It's a good idea.
Should we talk about it next week and get into more detail? I feel bad.
Yeah.
All right. I promise next week, tune back in. Jack and I had some chats today about partnering with people. When are people charging fees? Like, I'll do all the work for a fee, and I'll roll all the recording fees in there, and that's a good discussion. Who owns the property? What name should you put it in? Do I put it in my name because I'm the money guy? Do I put it in an LLC?
You're incredibly alert for going to sleep at 3:00.
Thank you.
Yesterday. Luke, will you be with us next week?
Yep.
Luke Smith.
Sorry, I hit mute because the kids are crying.
Oh,
yeah, I'll be there next week.
Okay, good. So Luke and I'll run through how because I know Luke's involved in a lot of them, and so are we. we'll run through the terms of the contract and what's fair and what's not and what's normal.
Maybe we could touch on marketing too, like the securities laws side of marketing these things.
Okay. That'd be good because you're familiar with that more than I am.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. And then Michael, we discussed how to do SFRs from data. You know what, Michael? There's a whole thing coming up, and I think it's going to be January.
Yeah.
We just talked about that today.
January for sure.
All right, because maybe we'll do them
January for
concurrently
Yeah.
with the Land Academy one, with our whole new stuff that we got coming up.
Yep.
And it's going to be awesome.
Thanks very much. Happy acquisitions. We will be here at the exact same time on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thursday. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.